Alert, and there we go. We've got it. Good morning, everyone. Sometimes you got to wait for these alerts to come up so you know that we've got a great connection, especially in a day like today, New England. It is that gloomy, could snow, but it's raining. There's pockets of some freezing rain, but you know what? It's Christmas week. Who cares what the weather is? Well, I guess if you're traveling, you do. Good morning, everyone. This is Carroll-Sue, aka Naughty Bus, live in Princess Ray's castle with
TwoSistas. Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Janis, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, with kind of a cool virtual background, and feeling obviously the holiday spirit. Live in the loft with the chirping bird. Thankfully, he's not chirping right now. He was just a second ago, and so many awesome things happening. Christmas is close, and the countdown is on, and what are those last minute things that you're going for? I did happen to go into that Hallmark store, which is I think one of the most beautiful Hallmark stores. It's more than just a Hallmark store. It's actually called the Paper Store now. But there's books, there's gift ideas, there's winter. I mean, there's just such a nice selection of different gifts. And I went in there yesterday. It was like wall to wall people. And I'm like, I said to the lady at the door, I said, when do you open tomorrow morning? She said 8:30. I said, okay. So I figured after today, I'll, run in there real quick and excuse me, hopefully it won't be as crowded. So everybody gathering their goods, and, people were there. I find it interesting, when you go into a shop like that. Of course, there's just so much great stuff to look at, but people were walking around and their hands were full, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's crazy out there.
It's that last minute hustle and bustle that people get caught up into, and it's kind of like just this natural. Did I get this? Do I need something extra? And then you always want to prepare for maybe someone that pops over your home that you didn't prepare for. So you always try to find yourself a few little extra goodies just in case an unexpected person comes by and you want to give them a little something. And I think that's what it is. And people have that fear that they're forgetting someone or they're forgetting something. So they go out and, just get those little last minute errands. Or if you've been one who's been waiting for something specific, and sadly, because of a lot of shipments not coming in on time, they're, trying to kind of do a plan B. So very normal for this time of year. And I will still encourage you to remember that there are 12 days of Christmas, which starts on December 25th. So you do have time, especially if you're visiting someone after the actual Christmas day. Wait a day or two. You don't have to necessarily have it beforehand. And you might just catch some, great sales out there as well, because that's always kind of the fun, the hunt of those that prepare for Christmas wrappings and tissue paper and cards or whatever. They go out the next day to get everything on sale, which is very smart. A lot of people just like at that point want to kind of just relax, and it's usually a certain age bracket that goes out there, which is great. Nothing like thinking from a financial and economic standpoint. Any way you can get a good bargain, a good deal, that's awesome. I also encourage everyone to remember your small businesses out there. There are many, whether you're in direct sales, whether you have a small mom and pops, whether you're in some sort of marketing, whether you have an online boutique. Those people, those businesses, those entrepreneurs deserve your loyalty as a customer as well. And remember, they're not the big corporation type. So I love making sure that I go into these independent stores, or, I have, other entrepreneurs out there that may be involved with, a different type of product that, I could buy it in the store, but I'm helping an entrepreneur. Or, a lot of people have little Etsy boutiques, where they're making different things. Make sure that we are also giving them the business to keep the economic wheel turning for the small entrepreneur, because I really think the entrepreneur and entrepreneurism is really the foundation of the United States. It's great minds thinking alike, wanting to be their own CEO. setting their own goals or their own timeline, their own timetable to work, as well as providing. And for a lot of people, it is extra income that is coming in. So maybe you may have that, you know, mom or grandma or just even a dad, whatever, you know, doing a side job. But we know that there are plentiful jobs out there, but some people from a time factor, because maybe they're homeschooling or maybe their schedules have changed, that on this Wealth Wellness Wednesday, we want to be mindful of having that good, healthy relationship with money. And some people need that extra income. So they do a part-time entrepreneur type of job. And that is allowing them to put on a great Christmas or to provide food for that table, or maybe help somebody else in the family. Or heck, maybe just to defray the cost of gasoline that's going in your gas tank, because we know that has skyrocketed. And of course, it's raw outside. So in New England, what do you do? Or, you know, in those colder climates, you are now paying a heating bill that is now skyrocketing. So always remember your entrepreneur, anyone that's out there that has a service that you find has value. If it's a boutique, I love the smaller boutiques online because you really get a flair of maybe a style or a fashion that may not be available in the store. Or you don't want to go in that big store. Like many, your thought processes change over time when you shop. Now, before I could shop for hours, when in my 30s, 20s, 30s, 40s, I can be in a store all day long, especially a clothes store. Now it's like, if I don't see a display, I want A, B, and C, and I'm out of there, I go cuckoo. So I'm finding that I am shopping a lot more for those unique items, more online, more with the smaller boutiques, because they got some cute things. Usually, probably 99.9% an entrepreneur will stand by their product. Oh, it's the wrong size, it doesn't fit correctly. They're more than happy to return it with, you know, or exchange it, whatever. Sometimes you got to go to those bigger stores, and you know, the exchange process after Christmas is chaotic. You're waiting in line, people forget their receipts. You may get, you know, sadly, you may get a clerk that, you know, doesn't necessarily want to be there, you know, the day after Christmas or the few days after Christmas, and they're miserable. So think of other ways to make sure you're maneuvering these last few days before the big event, which is the 25th. Again, don't forget, you can still get those great things, those great items after Christmas, because 12 Days of Christmas begins on December 25th.
Yeah, I did eye a few things that I want to get that I'm like, I'm not paying full price for this. I'll wait till after Christmas. So, you know, I have my little list of things that I want to get. And, you know, the wrapping paper, I have tons of that, so I don't have to worry about, you know, buying any paper. And of course, tons of tape. And, you know, we talked about how to wrap a package the other time. And back to boutiques, you know, there are so many amazing little boutiques, especially here in town, or even with Etsy. A friend of mine, Vanessa, has a cute little t-shirt with her brand Beautiful, with very beautiful pictures on it, with, you know, different proverbs or a couple of different quotes that she has done herself. And she's also including a 3-month membership to her private Facebook group. So that's kind of cool. So those are the type of people that we encourage our viewers and listeners to support. You know, they work hard just as everybody else does. And, you know, what a great way to support, you know, from within your own community. It's almost like giving back, but, you know, spreading the word, and that may create a ripple effect. And I'm sure there's somebody else out there, our viewers and listeners, that know people, or maybe it's within their own family, that have an Etsy shop, or, you know, maybe they do it directly from their Facebook page. You know, let us know. We would like to hear about that and share it with our, you know, viewers and listeners.
Absolutely. And I've got one who I actually spent a few hours with yesterday, is my bestie from high school, Donna Winter. She is a StampinUp card creator. And when I say card creator, if you don't know what these cards are, they're handmade. She assembles them just beautiful with quotes and different layers. And I always look forward to receiving one of her cards. but she also sells variety boxes of holiday cards or all occasion cards, get well cards, sympathy cards, whatever it may be. And she always does a nice variety pack. And it's a great gift because, again, you're supporting an entrepreneur, but the quality, every time I send out one of her cards, I always give her a shout out because I want her to, she's been a rep for this company for years. And, it's just, who doesn't like a really nice card? And the type of card literally that you frame, and I frame some of them or I save them. And if it happens to be the holiday, maybe it's a fall card, a Christmas card, Easter card, whatever, summer card, fall card, they're so beautiful that I take them out every season and I display them around because it's artwork. It's artwork. So shout out. So if you want to get a hold of her, it's Donna Winter, WINTER, out of Middletown, Connecticut. So shout out to her and her beautiful creations. And, when we talk about different entrepreneurs, there's different levels. You have an entrepreneur, maybe it's an artist, a photographer. Those are entrepreneurs as well. They're in business for themselves. Look at somebody that's local that may be sharing the local flavor of where you live. There's nothing better than receiving.
We had to freeze up.
I'm freezing up. I'm good now.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're good now.
Sorry about that. So, if you do business with somebody that's local, maybe they're a local artist for photography or pottery. It's always nice to receive a gift from where someone lives. So you get a flavor of their town. So there are many, many great things, but today is Wealth Wellness Wednesday, and having Wealth Wellness Wednesday fall before Christmas is amazing. And it's a great opportunity because we've got a lot of people out there doing economical things where, they're trying to find that deal. They're trying to stretch that dollar, and it's having that great relationship, that mindset with money and wealth. And it goes hand in hand with an entrepreneur or even somebody that's working at a brick and mortar type of employment. So what does that mean? Have a healthy relationship with money? Besides the obvious, it's really showcasing that the more that you have, meaning from a monetary perspective, the more you can give. So think about this. You have your local church. We're in the dead of winter. You're from New England. Their furnace breaks down. They need to raise funds, right? Well, if you have that mindset all along about, I'm going to always give, pay it forward to an unsuspecting person, and always have that spirit. Now, all of a sudden, how good would it feel if you were able to take that checkbook and just write out a check for $5,000? Wouldn't that feel pretty good? I bet you it would. And that whole point of the mindset is that we put out in the universe what we want to get back. There's an abundance out in the universe for everyone, if you understand the laws of attraction and how that works. So Wealth Wellness Wednesday is all about actually physically doing the act, but it's not about the monetary amount. Doesn't matter whether you only have $1 to share, if you got a quarter to share, if you got $5 to share. It's not about the monetary amount. It's about doing the physical act of taking it, having the mindset to say, you know what, I'm going to give this to someone else that I do not know. So I'm not talking about your local charities that you normally give to, your church. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an unsuspected person, someone that's not expecting any wealth to come their way. You would be surprised, even the wealthiest, when all of a sudden something's presented to them in such a way, and they're like, who else do I know that could need it, but at the same time, I want to share it with somebody else that I don't know, because they're not expecting that. Because some people do expect it, some people don't. Most people don't. So great ways to do that. You can, how many people are gassing up, right? We know the price of gas. How about folding up $1, $5, $10, $50, whatever you choose, fold it up like the size of a credit card. And you know where you put your credit card in it, at the gas pump, put it there. You get somebody going there, unsuspecting person, they're about to put the credit card, like, is this candid camera? And they're, if you wait back and they don't know who you are, because sometimes I'll do that. It is so funny to see their reaction and their joy of, like, first they're a little confused. I'm not gonna lie, they get a little confused. And then they're like, wow. And you could just see that delight on their face. Or you imagine, sometimes I'll put it in a box of pet food, canned goods. A lot of pets are other people's pride and joy. They're like their children. So I put a little extra in there. Maybe it said, you know, how about a young mom going out to buy diapers? Well, you know, diapers, the cost of everything has gone up. What if she was to open up that box and found a $5 or $10 bill in there? To her, that means the world, because guess what? That may be going to another box of diapers that she may not have known where she was going to get the money to buy the next box. So you have to kind of think outside the box to put the wealth, the wellness, connect the dots and pay it forward, because then you're going to spark the energy of giving, of paying it forward to people that you don't know, to add joy. You know, it may be just the thing that may just flip that switch for a person. Maybe they're having a tough day. Maybe they're really concerned about the gas price. And we know what's the average? The average cost is, I think, $3.40, $3.50 in this area. Well, think about that. 2 gallons of gasoline is $7. That $5 or that $10 may get them to their destination, may get them to work when they don't have it, when their credit card has no more money left on it, when their debit card doesn't have enough to cover it. Now you've given them something that maybe is going to enhance them to able to work and get more money, because now they can get to work because they have money to pay for the gas. So you have to kind of think outside the box, but that's what Wealth Wellness Day is all about. I love it.
Yeah, you know, the spirit of giving continues not only during the Christmas season, but pretty much each and every day. And obviously we celebrate it on a Wednesday. So what better way to go into the Christmas weekend and do that for someone who is, excuse me, unsuspecting, and, you know, see the joy on their face. And just think about that, the joy on the face, the joy that they feel. And it kind of makes you wonder what they will do, because you know they're going to do something because they're inspired by that, whatever it may be. And I think that's just, it's unsuspecting going forward. And it's that ripple effect that continues, and what that's going to do to the people that, or the person that person gives to. It's kind of neat. It's almost like a, you know, a mystery giving, almost like a Secret Santa type of thing. So
I love that. I love that. The Secret Santa. Absolutely. And again, you just don't know, you know, how that may impact their day in such a way that got them out of the funk. Maybe they have no Christmas spirit. Maybe they lost the spirit because they're down on the luck. And then all of a sudden something like that happens and you realize, wow, humanity is good. God is good. People out there are really trying to help people get through the holiday, get through Christmas, because it's not easy for everyone. We talked yesterday about people that have a disabled child, how they go out and shop and how they present their Christmas holiday in such a way where it's different. And especially if they have one child that doesn't have a disability and another child that does, you know, how that impacts their holiday. Maybe you're somebody that's grieving, someone in recovery, someone that has an illness, you know, that's derailing their Christmas. So however we can really share the Christmas spirit in such a simplistic way, that adds joy.
yes, spread the joy is the message. And just a sidebar note, you know, we'll make sure that we get Donna's, because I think she has a website.
She does.
Oh.
Donna Winter has, she has, I think she has 2 Facebook pages, and one is designated to her StampinUp.
Okay.
But it's StampinUp, StampinUp. So I believe that's the name of the company. And like I said, the cards are absolutely
They are works.
gorgeous.
I have some behind me, and the one that she just sent, I have by the Christmas tree. It was the day when we were celebrating, and I'm like, and I saw the envelope. I'm like, well, this is part of my decoration. I don't have to come up with something else. So that worked out well.
You know, and I think how cool it would be too. I had that thought process with her the other day, yesterday, and I forgot to even tell her. Wouldn't it be cool if she just had a tree with all her different designs on that? So that would be a pretty cool Christmas card to see her Christmas tree decorated with all her beautiful assemblies of different cards. They're just, like I said, they're it's artwork to me. It's just, they're just that pretty. And they're, you know, you have those, sometimes everyone's got that special card, that special postcard they hang on to. These are them, they're treasures, and they are something that you can keep bringing out and add to the collection. So they're gorgeous. And everyone knows someone like that. I mean, if you really think about it, Think about people that are in your neighborhood, in your community, in your church, wherever you assemble for your faith, grocery store, whatever. There are people out there that truly are gifted in ways that big corporations do the same thing, but they are more of an assembly line. These type of entrepreneurs put a lot of heart and love because they're using their own hands to create these treasures, whether it's knitting, whether it's sewing. There's a lot of I've been noticing a lot of new boutiques that specialize in children's clothing, tons of them, and especially some that actually gear one of their lines to premature babies, because those type of clothing are sometimes really hard to find. Or, I saw a really, really cool idea and it was actually, someone had posted this gift and I thought, that is such a cool idea. And knowing our dad, how many ties he had, I thought this would be perfect. So this particular woman made a stocking out of her father's old ties. So it kind of goes up almost like a candy cane look, because we know a stocking kind of shapes an upside down candy cane, right? So she took them and she sewed them all up, all his different ties. And she, was trying to choose, like some were already all the reds and the greens, some were just like blues and whites, whatever they may be. And she presented it to her granddaughter, who had a very special relationship with her grandfather. And she made her a stocking out of the grandfather's ties. I thought, what a cool idea. So that's one of the things I love about these different boutiques, is you get creative ideas that, maybe you necessarily couldn't do on your own, but you could recreate them, or, repurpose things. So how cool is it to have, someone who always wore ties, and that was one of the fond memories that she remembered of him. And that now she has a stocking of all his ties, or, some of his ties. So I thought that was pretty cool. So some of these shops you get some cool ideas too.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds amazing. And the person receiving that, her granddaughter, I think you said.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, like how special is that for everybody involved with the father? I mean, I think that is just so, it's just
cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another one I heard real quick is, which this is one that I've been working on, and hopefully the project's going to start in February, because it is going to be an undertaking, is when our dad passed, I took a bunch of his different flannel shirts, and my intent is to kind of make them into strips and cut them into squares, and like have a little piece of all his different shirts, because our father loved flannel shirts. And he always always wore, a button-down shirt. In his later years, he really loved the ones that snapped, because it made it much easier to get dressed. And I think some people will make a quilt out of it. Some people, will do different things with it. And it's such a great way to still keep that, the person's always closer. The person's always going to be in your heart, but, warm and snugglies, with some of their favorite belongings in a blanket form or whatever. It's just, there's a way of repurposing things. But if you're also one that have lost a loved one, and, you always grieve that person, but you're at that point where now you're ready to collect the items and repurpose them. Those are great ways to repurpose them. And or so many people are in need of clothing. There's so many avenues of different companies that you can go to, churches, different not nonprofit organizations that are really trying to make sure that everyone's clothed and dressed warm, especially if you're in a colder climate, because a lot of people just need those things and they just can't afford it.
Exactly. And, what better way to give back to your community than with the heart and soul behind the loved one that has passed. Yeah, I just think that that's such a great idea. I mean, so many different things to do, of course, and giving back. That, to me, that's what it's all about.
It's the holiday season. If you're not giving to others, it's easy to hold those things in tight, but when you give back, especially if you're struggling, especially if you're kind of in that funky, a lot of people get into, the Christmas time is a hard time for people, Hanukkah, and, any kind of these different holidays are hard times for many people, probably more than we actually know. Before it was like, years ago, you didn't talk about it, but a lot of people do struggle through the holidays. Maybe they're missing that loved one. Maybe it's the first holiday where that loved one's not present. Maybe you're not feeling your best. Maybe you're battling some sort of disease or fighting a disease. Maybe you've succumbed to some sort of really, unfortunate illness. Maybe it's your mind. Maybe you're just very depressed. These are all people that we want to embrace, and we want to gently help them through the holiday. And there's no better way than, ask them, hey, are you okay? Do you need anything? Sometimes it only takes that first suggestion or that first question to get them to open up, to say, you know what, I have been struggling, that I really felt I didn't have anyone I could talk to. Or, I dread getting up because I know everyone's like in this happy, jolly mood and I can't get my crap together. I don't feel that jolly feeling. So you never know who you impact. But if you see someone that and maybe they're off a tad, don't just take for granted that they're having a bad day. It could be that's all it is, but sometimes you don't know. So open up the conversation with a question. Hey, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. And then really look at them. No, how are you doing? How are you really doing? Because a lot of times people could put a facade up, fine, with a big smile. And when that person leaves, they're like, oh, God, I just want to go crawl back to bed. So we never know who we're going to touch. Just ask the question.
Go out and touch somebody's heart. What better way on Wealth Wellness Wednesday through the holiday season and beyond, each and every day. And on that note, now I'm going to get this right, because yesterday I thought was Wednesday. We will not be on tomorrow and Friday, Christmas Eve. We will be back on Monday, the 27th for Mindset Monday. We are so excited to obviously share what we are passionate about, wellness through fitness and nutrition, everything that happens in between, the ifs, the what ifs, so much that goes into that surrounds our wellness, that impacts our wellness. And as always, we would love to hear from you. Go to our website, www.TwoSistas.online. Leave us a voice message. Let us know if you know of an area boutique in your where you live, or maybe one of your friends, family members has an Etsy shop, or such as a StampinUp shop, whatever it may be, in whatever segment, something that will benefit someone, but also not the giver, but the receiver as well. On that note, we wish you such a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, blessed health and happiness going into 2022. My name is Janis, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, and I am with TwoSistas, and this is Carroll-Sue, aka Naughty Boss, live from Ray Ray's Princess Castle here. And we do. I'm going to emphasize that we wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. With every holiday you spend, slow down. Slow down, be in the moment, be present, because really you are the present. That's the real present. You've given your heart. We will see you Monday for Monday Mindset. Enjoy your holiday. Don't overeat. You don't have to overeat. You can still enjoy all the foods you want. Just be sensible, because you don't want to regret it the following week, thinking, okay, New Year's is coming up. Now you're into that hamster wheel. We don't want that. You can eat healthy, eat good, and enjoy. Don't deprive yourself. Just be smart about it. We will see you Monday. Take care, everyone. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.